David Nakamura and Ashley Parker last updated 0548, November 6, 2017. Donald Trump's Asia tour, the longest to the region of any U.S. president in more than 25 years, will include South Korea, China, Vietnam and the Philippines. U.S. President Donald Trump has donned a military-style bomber jacket shortly after arriving in Japan, projecting confidence that the United States will confront threats in Asia, telling hundreds of U.S. troops that they will have his administration's support to fight, to overpower and to always win. Trump's tough talk in a speech to U.S. and Japanese military personnel at Yokohama Air Base, shortly after Air Force One touchdown here, aimed to set a tone for his five-nation tour, during which the U.S. president said he was likely to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin. The president told reporters during his flight here that he wanted Putin's help on North Korea, as his administration attempts to consolidate support for its strategy to pressure Pyongyang over its nuclear weapons program. U.S. President Donald Trump is starting his tour of Asia with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Japan, and he expects to see Russian President Vladimir Putin later on. History has proven over and over that the road of the tyrant is a steady march towards poverty, suffering and servitude, Trump told the troops, perhaps referring obliquely to North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, whose name he did not mention. Read more. Japan, a crucial ally. Trump-Kim set to cast long shadow over Trump's trip. Trump goes to Asia to meet the autocratic leaders he prefers. Asia trip may force Trump to get real about North Korea. There's only one outcome if Trump strikes North Korea. Russian President Vladimir Putin has only met U.S. President Donald Trump once before. Noting that he has proposed a bigger military budget, Trump surveyed the troops in an airbase hangar and declared, "We've got a lot of stuff coming, use it well." The boisterous scene, during which the troops cheered and chanted USA, was closely watched in capitals across Northeast Asia, where governments from Seoul to Beijing are looking for signals of how Trump will address the threat on his first trip to the region. The U.S. president's heightened rhetoric aimed at North Korea and the Kim regime has set the region on edge over concerns that increasing tensions could result in a military confrontation. On the plane, Trump told reporters that he planned to decide very soon whether to relabel North Korea a state sponsor of terror. The country spent 10 years on that list before being removed in 2008 by the George W. Bush administration for meeting nuclear inspection requirements. Pyongyang later violated the agreement. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and U.S. President Donald Trump tee off with Japanese professional golfer Hideki Matsuyama as part of Trump's five-nation Asia tour. But Trump also offered encouragement for North Korean citizens, calling them great people. "They're industrious, they're warm, much warmer than the world really knows and understands," he told reporters on the plane. "They're great people and I hope it all works out for everybody. And it would be a wonderful thing if it could work for those great people, and for everybody." And he seemed unconcerned about the prospect that North Korea might use his trip to the region to demonstrate its military might by firing a missile. "We'll soon find out," he said. Good luck. U.S. President Donald Trump gestures to Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, as Japanese professional golfer Hideki Matsuyama looks on. After speaking at the airbase, Trump spent the day with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, playing 9 holes of golf, though a White House official said they did not keep score. At the golf course, Abe took pains to ensure Trump felt comfortable. He presented Trump with white baseball caps with the embroidered words "Donald and Shinzo make alliance even greater," which both men signed, and he served Trump, who can be picky about his food, a burger specially made from American beef. On Monday, the two will hold formal bilateral meetings to talk about security and trade. First Lady Melania Trump, who is accompanying her husband on the trip, will join the president for a morning meeting with Japanese Emperor Akihito and then take part in separate slate of events. The golf outing aimed to recreate the bond the two men forged during Abe's visit in February to Trump's Florida resort, Mar-a-Lago, where they played a round. It was while the two leaders dined together that evening that Kim launched a missile test, prompting an angry condemnation from both men at a joint statement to reporters in Florida. Sign up for the latest news from Trump's America. Some national security experts have cautioned that Kim could choose to conduct another test during Trump's 12 days in the region to try to upstage him. North Korea's goal is not to simply acquire horrific weapons to maintain the status quo, said a senior White House official, who briefed reporters in Tokyo on the condition of anonymity. They are seeking these weapons to change the status quo. Their primary goal is to reunify the Korean peninsula, and these weapons are part of the plan. Trump, who had spent Saturday night, Sunday morning NZ time in Honolulu and toward Pearl Harbor, seemed in buoyant spirits on Sunday. He wore an unbuttoned, open-collared white shirt with no tie to chat with the press on Air Force One, and he enthusiastically donned the brown leather bomber jacket presented to him by Air Force officers at Yokota. "I like this better," he joked, after replacing his navy blue suit coat. Trump confirmed that he expected to meet with Putin, likely on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit in Da Nang, Vietnam, later in the trip. The meeting would come as special counsel Robert Mueller's probe into possible collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia has heated up. Last week, Mueller indicted 3 people in Trump's orbit, 2 senior campaign aides and 1 lower-level, unpaid volunteer as part of his ongoing investigation. But the U.S. president, who has often expressed admiration for authoritarian leaders, has remained reluctant to criticize Putin. Trump also promised that trade will also be a key focus of his trip, with China a frequent target of his trade-related ire, looming largest on the economic front. Chinese President Xi Jinping consolidated power last month at the 19th Communist Party Congress, and Trump is preparing to face a newly emboldened Xi on his home turf. "I think we're going in with tremendous strength," Trump said. When a reporter asked him about Xi's elevated position, the president cut off the questioner, saying, "Excuse me, so am I?" He then rattled off a laundry list of highlights of U.S. power, including the surging stock market, the low unemployment, and success in combating the Islamic State in the Middle East. "I think he's viewing us as very, very strong, and also very friendly," Trump said. "But we have to do better with trade with China because it's a one-way street right now, and it has been for many years. And we will. But the reason our stock market is so successful is because of me. I've always been great with money." Trump noted that he will spend the first anniversary of his Election Day victory in Beijing on Wednesday, and he facetiously invited the traveling press corps to help him celebrate. "Can you believe it is almost exactly 1 year," he said. "We'll have to celebrate together." Trump didn't even let a question about a new book that includes sharp criticism of him from former U.S. Presidents George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush spoil his good mood. "I'll comment after we come back," he said. "I don't need headlines. I don't want to make their book successful." The Washington Post.